My name is Todd Hansen. I'm the program manager for NASA's Educator Resource Center, located here in Fairmont. And the Educator Resource Center provides free training and resources for both formal and informal educators. So you could be a classroom teacher, private parochial school. You could also be a homeschool educator. You could also be an after-school educator, like Boy Scout, Girl Scout leaders, or just a very interested parent. So in addition to free trainings that we give on how to integrate STEM into the classroom or learning environment, we also do hands-on activities, and we loan out the kits to do those hands-on activities to teachers. They can implement those in their learning environments. So we have over $1 million of classroom sets of equipment like robots and rocketry, and we have iPads so you can study the sun and special solar telescopes, and the list goes on and on.
Still free, still good.
Go back and forth, back down. Wait. Stop. Go.
So what are you guys doing?
They're building rockets, and then after that we're going to launch them outside.
Building rockets, and you're going to launch them outside.
You know, guys, the more I'm doing this, I'm realizing what subjects are we going to have to study in order to make rockets that are effective. Well, reading, of course, but what other subjects in school? Aerodynamics. What subject in school would you learn aerodynamics? Science, algebra, math. Yeah. So do you think that maybe those are all important subjects to be studying and paying attention in class in? Yeah, yes. All right. There's a lot of jobs out there for scientists and students that are involved in math. So even in West Virginia, my husband was watching TV the other night and they said how many hundreds of thousands of jobs are available. So you guys need to keep that in mind as you're going through school thinking of careers.
I'm Emily Calandrelli. I am a science TV show host, and I'm here at Day in the Park to show kids that if you study science and math and engineering and technology, then you can get incredible jobs when you grow up. Really well-paying jobs, really interesting jobs, and that's the message that we're really trying to get out today.
I'm Thomas Evans, the director of the West Virginia Robotic Technology Center, and also a research professor at West Virginia University. I've been working with NASA since 2010 to develop robotic methods to be able to capture, repair, and refuel satellites in space.
Wow, satellites in space. So when we see the stuff on TV, you've worked on some of that.
Yes, we have an upcoming mission in support of NASA and launch in 2019 to repair and refuel the government satellite in low Earth orbit. So we're trying to autonomously capture the satellite, use robotics and custom tools to be able to peel the insulation layers off, remove caps and valves, and pump fuel into the satellite to extend its life in space. So this is the West Virginia Robotic Technology Center Research Lab, and this is where we do full-scale research of robotic operations that will be used in space to repair and refuel satellites, and also to take our astronauts to deep space exploration by the assistance of robots. The robot system that you see in front of you and the full-scale mock-ups, the mock-up in the back is the Orion Vehicle. That is the next full-scale size mock-up of the Orion Vehicle to take astronauts into space. The robotic arm is a flight robotic arm that is used on the International Space Station and also was used in the Space Shuttle. And it is flight certified and cannot hold its own weight in an Earth environment. So it floats on the air-bearing floor that we have, so we can operate it just in planar motion. So through that entire setup, we can do full-scale operations of how astronauts and robots would work together using the Orion Vehicle to dock with other spacecraft or build habitats in the area so they can go into deep space and explore.
And don't you do a robotics outreach program for kids and school kids? Tell me about that.
Yeah, we have a statewide outreach program. So the West Virginia Robotic Technology Center travels the state of West Virginia to talk to students about the missions that we support for NASA Goddard, and also some of the curriculum that will be involved if they want to choose to go into science, technology, engineering, and mathematics.
So if I'm a person sitting here in town and I want to get involved, what do I do?
We can follow our website. You can see all the exciting stuff that we do on our website. You can come to some of our outreach events if you're middle and high school students and you'd be interested in seeing our lab and hearing more about what we do. Please contact us through our website. We'll try to set something up.
Okay, and if you want to get a job doing this kind of thing in the future and you're in grade school, what are your suggestions for that person?
Learn as much as possible. be very interested in the topics that the teachers are presenting to you. Understand, listen, focus, because the knowledge that you are gaining will be the knowledge and the tools that you take for the rest of your career in college and into your work career.
What are your elementary and junior high subjects that a student might be particularly interested in?
Math, science, all the technical fields that would be into the programming, the computers, the work that we do in structures and evaluations and robotics.
I would tell parents and grandparents who have kids that might be curious about science and engineering to foster that curiosity. Buy books that feature kids that like science. Show them TV shows of people that like science. Everybody learns differently. Some people don't learn well just from a textbook. So try toys, try experiments, try books and TV shows. There's so much out there that can foster curiosity in kids. You just got to do a little research and find it.
Who are you? Why are you here?
I'm Mr. Weekly from Monongah Middle School, and we're here at the STEM Day at the park. STEM stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. It's a great program, working with all the different fields. These are the fields of the future. All the future jobs are going to be STEM-based, and it's a great way for our kids to learn it, so that way we can have these jobs here in West Virginia.
Who's this young man with you, this handsome fella?
This is my son Braylon. He's a 7th grader at the school.
What do you think of this?
It's fun, interesting. It's a great way to learn about STEM.
Are you making good grades in science, technology, and math?
Yes.
Throw English in there too. You still need to know how to write.
Yeah, straight A student.
Well, you guys have a good time, and thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
But in addition, we also run student competitions. So we support robotic competitions from kindergarten all the way through the university level. We run rocketry competitions, aviation competitions, and others. And so there's opportunities for students to get involved at any age level through these challenges. We work with educators at any age level to get them the skills and the resources necessary to engage students in meaningful ways in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And our big emphasis is to try and get students through high school into post-secondary education, because we feel that is critically important. No matter what career path you want to choose here in West Virginia, we know that that's going to be necessary.
Okay, so you said that when you pick up the samples can't touch each other or else they'll become contaminated. So what did you do to make sure they didn't touch?
Okay, so this was a debating strategy between many of the different teams that competed. So what we did was we picked up one sample and we came back to our base immediately and put it down in a safe location. Other teams actually had storage units on the actual rover itself, and like pick them up, put them into the storage units. We decided not to do that because the points that you earn actually are the samples that make it to the homing platform, not the samples that you pick up. So you can pick up all the samples in the field, but if your robot dies and is unable to make it to the platform, you don't get any points. So we took the safe approach, pick up one sample at a time. So that's how we did it.
How are you working to improve, like, in places where there would be shadows that might go over the samples or things you need to collect? How would you work to improve that, improve the visual scan?
Send pictures of every different type of orientation these samples could possibly be in. The best way to improve it is just when you're actually training these classifiers to show more pictures of like the samples and shadows and nighttime and dusk time. So if it's seen it before, it can make those connections and figure it out. This just happened to be one of the scenarios where it could.
You guys to give a hand and thank our world champions. We really appreciate them coming out and showing you and explaining to you the robot that they built. But I just want to remind you that you guys can all do this too. You can start now. You can be involved in Lego League or the VEX IQ competition. And there's many other challenges that will lead you to potentially be on a world-winning team like they have here. So next, our speaker for the day is someone that I'm so excited. Actually, it's the second time I got to meet her. I met her once out at the world's largest rocketry competition called Team America Rocketry Challenge. And I've been following her career for the past several years, and it's been very exciting. And this is a native West Virginian, and Emily is going to share a little bit about how she got to where she is today. And without further ado, Emily Calandrelli for you.
Hello. Okay, so my name is Emily, and I'm from Morgantown. What schools are you guys coming from? Notre Dame. Okay. Is anyone else from a different school? You guys in the back? St. Francis. St. Francis. Do you have another one? What is it? Monaga? Monaga. Oh, okay, yeah. And then what about you? Yeah. Okay, so you guys are from all over, huh? So I went to Suncrest, then I went to North, and I went to Suncrest, and I went to Morgantown High School. And when I was your age and in high school, I was not considered one of the smart kids. The smart kids at my high school, growing up in Morgantown, had parents who were professors at West Virginia University. These were the kids, you might know them, that get perfect scores on all their tests. Their parents helped them with, their SATs and all of these things that you guys haven't done yet, but I wasn't one of the smart kids.
Good afternoon. We are employees of the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center. We have been invited today to participate in the STEM Day in the park. Our goal today was to educate students on internet safety, which included chat rooms, social networks, cyberbullying, and cyber predators.
Not only did we talk to the children about issues like cyberbullying, but some of the responses they could have to disarm the cyberbullier. For example, the classic cyberbullier, whether it's male or female, usually has low self-esteem, and to pull themselves up, they try to pull others down. And we emphasize to your children the best response is no response, because by ignoring them, you are disarming them, because the arsenal they have is not bullets, but in the things they say to hurt other people. So we try to take a proactive view, and again, that the children can use to guard against cyber bullies.
Do you want to say anything to the public generally about sexual predators? If they suspect someone on the internet is one, what should they do?
During our conversations with the students this morning, we emphasized the fact that child predators troll chat rooms on different social networks, and they groom children. And we emphasized that the sole purpose of a child predator in a chat room was to take that child away from their family. We emphasized that October was Internet Safety, Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and that we had to make sure that they were cyber savvy all the time in order to invalidate the fact that the cyber predators inhibit the chat rooms and to keep children safe.
Okay, if I'm a mommy and I'm looking at what my kid's been doing, and I see somebody on there that looks suspect to me, what can I do besides tell him not to talk to that person? What can I do to help you?
Well, if the believed predator or the bullier is on a particular website, you can inform. You can provide the username and other identifying information for that particular user to the website administrator, and they can have the person removed. There's different levels of things that you can do, both from a procedural point of view and from a legal point.
But that's a good start for your average person.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Also emphasized to the students was the fact that they had to keep their parents in the loop. Parents need to be aware what their children are doing online. They need to be aware of who they are talking to, where they go. One of the cardinal rules when you meet someone in a chat room for a child is to never meet that person anywhere.
I think another problem for a lot of parents is it's hard for anybody to keep up with technology, and a lot of parents are overwhelmed by it, and they simply think, well, what my kid does, I'm sure he'll use proper judgment, but by not demanding that computer be put in a common place in the home, the worst mistake that a parent can do is put it in the actual child's room. They have to put it in whether it's a laundry room or a common area of the house where the family meets. That way the parent can see what the child is looking at and therefore be more involved in what their online experience is, and by doing that be able to protect themselves from possible danger.
Yeah, I hope I'm not throwing you a loop with this, so you might want to think a second. What about phones?
Phones, I believe there are different apps that you can get to track where your child goes when he uses his phone. You can also track what comes into his phone and what goes out. We also spoke to the students about receiving, sending, and keeping photos, suggestive photos. If that person in the photo is under 18, then they are in possession of, distributing child pornography, and that is a felony.
I think a lot of the children also wondered why the FBI, law enforcement agency, would be a science seminar, and we talked to them about the similarities between outer space and cyberspace, because one important similarity is permanence. Because anytime something is sent out, whether it's appropriate or inappropriate, it's out there forever in cyberspace.
And can be altered.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Can you think of anything I missed that you'd care to tell the world?
Be cyber savvy.
Be cyber savvy.
And
Be smarter than the perpetrator.
The internet and the World Wide Web can be a great thing. It can be a terrible thing. You just got to use common sense and be careful, and keep yourself educated on the.
Be informed.
Yes.
Because you're the first line of defense.
Okay, so I think
Nice. No bounces.
Anyone think of a reason why? So they have infrared telescopes. Can anyone think of a reason why they would want infrared on a telescope in space?
So they can see aliens.
Okay. Yes, they could see aliens. But one of the biggest reasons they do is because the other solar systems in our galaxy, like planets that go around other stars, can be surrounded by big, what are called accretion disks, which are just like rubble and debris, like asteroids and stuff like that, that are surrounding these planets and stars. And so you couldn't see that with the naked eye if you have this big like dust cloud in front of it, but with the infrared you can see the heat produced by these planets and stars, so you can see where they are, how big they are, how far apart they are, and you can see some of these other planets.
But you can't see any holes.
So, you guys will need to study a lot of science, a lot of physics.
Math.
Yeah, math. And physics goes pretty hand in hand with this because it has to deal with...
Ice is really blue.
Yeah, so the temperature goes from dark blue, which is cold, to white, which is really hot. So it all depends on how much heat you're putting out.
Wow, my head's cold.
Yeah. So I grew up in Morgantown. I really liked math in high school, and then I went to WVU for engineering, and it was an incredible experience. They have the best professors there. Did well, and then ended up going to MIT for graduate school.
Great. And then did you go straight to your television? Tell us about your TV show. Did you go straight there, or did you get some jobs in between?
Well, when I was graduating from MIT, I got a call from an Emmy-winning production studio that was like, we want somebody who has a strong background in aerospace engineering. Would you like to be the host of a science TV show? And I was like, yeah, that sounds great.
Wow. And how long have you been doing it?
I've been doing that for 4 years now.
And what is the name and where do we find it?
It's called Xploration Outer Space. It's on Fox on Saturday mornings. So I also just wrote a book series called Ada Lace, the Ada Lace Adventures. I wanted to create a book series that featured a strong female character that had a background in science and technology. When I was growing up, there weren't that many books that had strong female leads that love science. And so I want to normalize this concept that little girls can love science and engineering and be good at it. So that's what the Ada Lace series does.
Wonderful. Now, you mentioned little girls. So when someone says to little girls or to little anybody that they want to be dismissive of and say, oh, you can't do this, you're never going to do that, how should they respond?
Well, you know what? I always tell them my story because when I was growing up, I wasn't one of these smart kids. I wasn't one of the kids that, you know, went to Ivy League straight out of high school. Those I considered to be these smart kids, and I thought I was way below them. But I learned in college that you can make yourself one of the smart kids. With hard work and dedication, you can make yourself smarter. And now I feel like I am one of the smart kids because of all the work that I put in college.
And so we know that students who are successful in the future are probably going to have the skills necessary in these areas.
We look for a lot of engineers and scientists. And from the university, we recruit computer scientists, we recruit electrical engineers, we recruit mechanical and aerospace engineers, but all that goes into the robotics field.
Yeah, I mean, being from West Virginia has been the greatest asset to me in my life. West Virginia taught me how to be a hard worker. West Virginians were the most supportive and continue to be the most supportive in my career. And, you know, it shows me how lucky I am to be a West Virginian. And I'm so proud of my state, and to come back here and give back and talk to the kids here and be like, listen, I'm from the same town you are. You can do great things. You can do big things.
Alright, nice work. Time is up.